also it is talking to men. But here it's saying, oh you men, is my words in square brackets. Oh you men, don't marry your daughters to idolaters. What's the difference between the two therefore? What is the concluding remark here that Allah wants to make here? Ladies want to make a comment? Okay, both are orders. Don't marry. Both are orders. Nahy anil munkar. But here the difference is that you men, directly you are not allowed to marry a woman who is an idolatress, right? But he doesn't go and Allah doesn't tell us, doesn't tell the woman, do not marry a man who is a kafir, for example, or a mushrik. He refers to he talks to the who? The fathers. Right? You don't marry your daughters to that. So Allama is making a conclusion here. There's a fiqhi result. Daughters need their father's permission to get married. And this is tafsir by Ayatollah Jawadi Amuli, which I got this information from. Right? So, Mayu? Huh? So daughters are supposed to get permission. That's why he says, La tunkihu. La tunkihu. Do not get your daughters married. That's what it means. The person who is referred to here, tunkihu, is talking to the men, not to the women. Talk to the men about their women. About their women means their children who are women, daughters. So, any questions?
Is it like this tankihu and tunkihu? There is like a grammatical
Yes, absolutely. Tankihu is mujarrad, we say. It's not going into one of the bab. Tunkihu is from inkah. Right? Inkah, tunkihu, like that. Kalila tume? Have you done it already, Mafaim? Nothing pointa? Sorry about that. I must say. But this is an important discussion about the fiqh, how the fiqh rules are obtained. Although, when somebody comes and makes a ruling about fiqh result that a daughter cannot get married without permission, that fiqhi rule is not obtained from one ayah only. No, there has to be other sources or other ayats have to be looked at. The hadiths have to be looked at also. Okay. So, any questions? Any? So let's look at the word mushrik. So we are cutting down this verse into parts which are very, you can say, sensitive words, right? So the word here is mushrik. Let's talk about mushrik. Right, mushrik or mushrika means what? Mushrika. The first word is mushrika. Woman, one woman, one mushrik woman. Mushrikat is more than two. Mushrik and mushrikeen are referring to the men, right? One man and three or more. Okay, this is just so that you understand. In the ayah, it's talking about mushrika and mushrik. Okay, one person. The one who allocates a partner for Allah the glorified. Who allocates, that means I believe that Allah has a partner. That is called shirk. Okay? Until here should be enough to understand. It's not so hard, I hope. Now, the shirk has got different levels. This is Allama's Mizan. He's talking about these different levels. And it's important to discuss this thing, but I'll tell you why. So, the levels of shirk are based on whether it's open or whether it is hidden, right? So let me give you the example of the open type of shirk, which is the apparent examples of apparent shirk, is that of a belief in two or more gods. Two or more gods, like the idolaters of Makkah, the mushrikeen of Makkah. They believe in so many gods. Sawa. The belief in idols being intercessors to Allah. Idols being intercessors, that means they have the ability to do something. They have this authority. Allah only has the authority. Idols don't have any authority, right? That's what is the correct way. But now they are ascribing partnership to Allah. That means Allah has the authority and they also have authority. They also have authority to do intercession. This is talking about idols, not talking about the imams and the prophets, because those have the authority because they have reached that level of their existence such that they have attained perfect qualities that Allah has given them the authority, right? However, idols don't have that ability. They don't have the ability to do intercede. But these people, they take them to that level. They make them intercessors, and therefore they are called mushrikeen to that level. Okay. This is an open type of idolatry. So slightly more hidden form of shirk, right? Slightly more hidden. There are different levels, as I said. Slightly more hidden is the shirk of the Christians, right? For example, he says Allah has a son, right? Now, having a son is describing like a partner, in the sense that if Allah has this ability, so has his son got this ability, right? But it is slightly hidden in the sense that they do not believe that. So some of the Christians do not believe him as God. If they take him to believe him as God, they become a mushrik in the real sense, right? So this is hidden in the sense that it is the son of God, not directly the God himself. That's why they call it slightly hidden. So in the other verse of the Quran, chapter 5, verse number 18, Nahnu abna'ullahi wa ahibbahu. We, that means both the Jews and the Christians say, we are Allah's children and his beloved ones, right? So when you say we are their children, we are Allah's children, this is actually attributing some sort of a partnership to Allah, right? When you say Allah is one, we mean that he is free of any association with anybody at all. There is no association at all. That's what is the correct way. But here they are putting themselves to say that no, we are the sons of Allah. This is a lesser type of shirk. Even more slightly hidden type of shirk is the belief in the independence of causes from Allah. So there are like a belt when I wear, right? I put a belt. Why do I put a belt on? So that I can hold my trouser to my waist, basically. So my belief that this belt has the ability to hold my trouser, is a good belief or not? Not a good belief. Is it a good belief or a bad belief? It's a good belief, right? But to believe it as an independent of Allah means what? What do you mean that you believe that certain medicine, for example, the belief that medicine is the cure of disease. Is the medicine cure of disease? Yes. Where is Allah in the picture? You had not thought about it, right? That is why it is called the hidden form of shirk. Because we are always entangled with this type of idea that if it was not for so and so person, I would not have got this thing done. This is okay in our life, but in reality, it's a hidden form of shirk. Means actually we are relying on this person fully without bringing Allah into the picture. We are thinking that he is independent of Allah's power. So this type of shirk is also there, but it's a hidden shirk. Okay? Sawa. So medicine is the cure of disease. We say with the shafa, with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? That is the condition that should be there in our minds.
Sheikh, last time we had said that every cause has a cause.
Yes.
Allah is the cause of
Yes, absolutely. So you should remember that Allah is the final cause in everything. And that way you can bring Allah into the picture of your life. Everything that we do, everything that happens to you, right, remember that Allah is behind. Never assume that Allah is not in the picture, because that assumption leads you to think that everything is depending on you only, or everything is independent of Allah, and that is leading to if something bad happens to you, for example, and you do not bring Allah into the picture, you lose hope. Hawe sutase. This hawe sutase is showing that you don't rely on Allah, because Allah is not in your picture. So you must bring Allah into the picture and say that no, He knows what is happening, and maybe He is also doing that to me so that I grow and I become a better person, or He's trying to wake me up. There's so many other reasons. Or for example, He's punishing me for my sins, etc., etc. Any questions? Even more weaker and hidden states of shirk are there, right? So many levels are there until you get to those people who are the mukhlasin, right? So Shaitan says to, Iblis says to Allah, I'm going to make everybody deviate except those who are mukhlasin, those people who are purified by Allah. And those people, they don't have any problem. They will not have any shirk in them. They only see Allah everywhere. This is the great status. Otherwise, all of us are in that problem of shirk. So this type of shirk. Now the question is, here, looking red. Oh, it's red on my computer, but not on yours. But this does not mean we attach the label of mushrik on all of these stages of shirk. This is an important lesson for us. This is from Allama Tabata. We can't say everybody is a mushrik. The person who is says that medicine is a cure is a mushrik. The person who says that Christians believe in son of Allah is Hazrat Isa is a mushrik, right? We can't do that. So the example that I'm going to quickly take is that of a Muslim when he. So I'm going to the word called kafir as an example. A kafir is one who does not believe in God. Okay? So if a Muslim lives a wajib act like namaz, we don't call him kafir. A kafir થઈ ગયો છે. What do we mean by that? Yeah, kafir means that he is no longer believing in God. But here when he's left in namaz, kafir થઈ ગયો means what? It means in one action of namaz, one action which is wajib for him, he did not do and become kafir in that. Like, okay, I'm going to skip these examples. And the idea here was that to tell you that there is no way you can label a mushrik to all these categories of shirk that I just mentioned to you. Because of the time frame is very short, we just bypass that. Just a quick one over here. Kafir is one who denies or hides the kafir from kufr means to hide. Okay, hide. So kafir is one who denies the existence of God. So he knows that there is a God, but he denies it. He hides it away. Right? Each છે જે જહન્નમમાં જાશે. ઓલા બીજા કાફિર હોય છે કે they don't believe in God, but they don't know why they don't believe in God. They don't have enough proof to show that there is God. The real truth has not come to them. Those people are not in this category of those punishable. The punishable kafir are those who deny. They were hiding the existence of God. Mushrik is one who attributes partner to God. So all kafir are mushrik. According to one understanding, all kafir are mushrik. Why? Why? He's here. Because, so for example, atheists are kafir, okay? They don't believe in God. But they're also mushrik because they worship other than God. So there is God, that we know there is God, but they believe other than God. This believing other than God is actually ascribing partner to God. Even though they don't say that there is a partner to God, but in reality they are ascribing a partner to God. They're believing in something else. What are they believing in? Atheists? Their own desires, and shaitan, to the extreme example. Whereas all mushrik are not kafir. Okay? So the mushrikeen of Makkah, for example, idolaters, right? They are not kafir in that sense. Right? They are mushrikeen. They believed in God. They believed in the existence of God. Right? But they were mushrikeen. They would ascribe partners. Their idols would be partners to God. One of the other discussion is that is Ahl Kitab included in the mushrikeen? There's another issue here. Okay, so one answer is yes, they are considered to be the mushrikeen because because as we said with regards to the Christians and the Jews, is a slightly hidden type of shirk. So the Christians, they believe in Trinity, which is three: the God, the Spirit, and the Son. Right? They're all three in one type of things. This is a belief which is type of shirk. And the Jews, they believe that Uzair is the son of Allah in this verse of the Quran I have mentioned here, chapter 9, verse number 30. Right? However, only some Jews were believing that, not all. And the Zoroastrians, they believe that there's a God of evil and a God of good. So these are the types of mushrikeen. So if you look at it from this angle, then the Ahl Kitab are mushrikeen, right? Ahl Kitab are these three. Okay, so this is one angle. So this is so some people would say that they are mushrikeen. On the other hand, the other answer is that no, Ahl Kitab are not mushrikeen. Why? Because they believe in Tawheed, they believe in the prophets, okay, and they believe in the heavenly books, whether it is Torah or Injil or Zabur, right? But they believe in these books, okay? That's number one. Number two, the Holy Prophet himself said that expel the mushrikeen from the Arabian Peninsula. At the same time, he allowed the Ahl Kitab, the Jews and the Christians, to stay there and to pay their religious taxes, right, in order to stay within the community and be regarded as people who can be protected. So there's he differentiated between the Ahl Kitab and those people who are mushrikeen. Okay, they become part of society. And there are other ayah also that distinguish between Ahl Kitab and mushrikeen. We'll just bypass that. Right. The next part of the verse is, well, it says, "Wala amatun mu'minatun." Is a faithful slave girl. What is better, a faithful slave girl or a kafir free girl with beauty status, etc.? Why? It's easy to say yes or no, but the issue is why. They saw it the other way around. The polytheists of Makkah, they saw it the other way around. The Muslims saw it the other way around. The Muslims of Medina were under the impression that it is okay to get married to a mushrik, what? Mushrik girl, mushrik woman, for example, or mushrik man. They saw it okay to do it. But the Quran is coming in telling them that no, it's not okay, you can't do it. So there was this belief. So we have to argue why it is not agreeable to Allah. The people at the time of ignorance, right, they said that the kafir girl is better and would put down the marriage with the slave girl, right? This is what we discussed in the Asbab al-Nuzul of the second type, where the people, they got very upset. How can you get married to a slave girl, even though she's a mu'minah? So our criteria is Iman. Our criteria is Iman. But consider this ayah. This ayah is going back to verse number 216. We are doing verse number 221. Going back to 216 is talking about, yet it may be that you dislike something, right, while it is good for you. Or it may be that you love something while it is bad for you, and Allah knows and you do not know. So the previous ayah is talking about something else. It's saying that sometimes a law comes, but you are thinking the opposite. So the people are liking to get married to mushrik women and mushrik men, right? But actually it is bad for them, right? So you love something, but it is bad for you. So this is the ayah that is telling us that it's not good for you to just do what you feel like doing. You should listen to what Allah is saying. So ayah number 221 is saying a believer slave girl or a believer slave boy is better for you, though it is repulsive to you, like it is like degrading for you that you are marrying a slave girl, right? And although you may dislike, it's still better for you. That's what this ayah is telling us. 221 is telling us that even though you think that she is or he is bad because it's a slave girl or a slave boy, but it is better for you, according to this previous ayah 216. Also, you may be loving to get married to a kafir girl or boy while it is bad for you. Okay? أُولَٰئِكَ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى النَّارِ. Those invite others to the fire. Who is inviting to the fire in this particular verse? Who is inviting to the fire? The mushrikin? Mushrik, which mushrik? Who are who are married or who want to get married. If they were to get married to this Muslim man, then these women would be inviting others to the fire. In fact, this forms the reason behind it. This forms the reason behind that rule. This is the wisdom and reason behind the prohibition in the ayah. Don't get married to the mushrik woman. Why? Because they will invite you to the fire. What does mean invite you to the fire? Tame aao, please, hamare saath, hame jahannam mein tame pan aao saath. Is that how it is? This is another question that comes up. Invitation card aave ne apne ne. Shall I tame also shadi ma also tame jahannam mein aag ma also. Yes, bhai.
There's a wisdom, of course.
No, you go ahead.
Of course, there's a wisdom. When this particular ayah says that they invite you towards the fire, and the following ayah it says, "Well, the last one, Allah invites you towards His forgiveness and Jannah." So basically, here it says that when you marry to a non-Muslim or a mushrik, what's going to happen is that you may be influenced by your ex, and sometimes because this marriage is based on love,
Yes,
a bond, a very strong bond, and that may weaken your faith.
absolutely.
In that way, you may end up in doing some things which displeases Allah,
Yes,
and it is somehow the actions of the mushrikeen.
yes,
So that way, you may end up in the
yes.
fire of hell.
And over and beyond the action itself is the belief itself. The belief gets weakened until you start believing like them. That is the outcome. So mushrikeen have wrong beliefs, so will take the deviated path themselves, and their actions and manners will manifest those beliefs and their ugly attributes. Right? So as we were talking about the ugly attributes of the mushrikeen in the days of the ignorance, was that they would do superstitious things that is not at all proper, right? And if you were to get married with them, right, then we would slowly get into those type of habits also, as you mentioned. So they will also deviate others from the truth to shirk, destruction in the dunya and akhirah, right, and fire of hell. This is according to the tafsir of Ayatollah Makarim Shirazi. Wallahu yad'u ila al-jannati wal maghfirati bi-idhnih. So in the first case, it was that people are inviting you to hell. On the other side is Allah is calling, inviting us to paradise and pardon by His will. That is the translation, right? Let's just go further into the meaning of that. Enlightening commentary says the believers, unlike that group, remember I put into bold, so there's something I'm trying to point out here. The believers, unlike the other group who are the mushrikeen who are inviting to hellfire, because of their belief and high human qualities resulting from the true faith, call their companions to the truth and excellence. They are the ones who are calling, right? So if the Muslim man was to get married to a mu'mina slave girl, that mu'mina slave girl would have good qualities in her, right? Her beliefs would be good, right? So then, because of their true faith, they will call their companions, that means their husbands who are already also Muslim men, to the truth and excellence, right? And the fate of this manner is paradise and forgiveness for Allah for those people who are the slave girl mu'mina and the man who is also a believer. Okay? So far so good. Any question? Right? The believers are calling or Allah is calling? The commentary here is saying the believers are calling. Who is calling? Is Alidina no sawal cha. Sheikh Alidina no sawal cha. Who is calling in the ayah?
Indirectly, Allah is calling through the believers.
How is that? Yes, Baijan. Ladies, you want to say something? Allah, yes.
Because when you follow what Allah says,
Right.
then it means that you are acting upon what Allah
Yes.
said.
Yes, absolutely. So Allah is telling us to pray, and we pray, right? And we make our spouses also pray. That means we are also making the spouse, but because we are following in the line of what Allah wants us, so Allah is attributing that action to Himself. That is a very big thing. But did you have something else to say?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, Sheikh, there is another ayah as well in the Quran. It says that "Stajibu ila Allah wa ila rasulihi." I mean, you respond to the call of Allah and His Messenger.
Yes.
In order to get life. So this can
Absolutely. Yeah. Atiullah wa atiur Rasul, for example, also. They are not two separate beings that you, okay, one time you follow Allah and sometimes you follow the Prophet. No, it's the same thing. Here is saying that when you follow the Prophet, you're actually following Allah also. Right? Whereas if you were to follow Shaitan, you would not be following Allah. You'd be going in the opposite direction. So the question is, why does the ayah say Allah is inviting? Okay? And the answer is that in this occasion, regarding the close and sincere relation that the true believers have with Allah, okay, so there is a very sincere relationship between Allah and His servant, and because of that, right, the sincere relationship means that sincerely obedient to Him, then Allah has applied His own name instead of the believers. Allah, what does He do? Because